Hello and happy Tuesday. And because I'm going to try to review more books, Tuesday is my reviews day, and it's the first Tuesday of October, which is spooky season. So let's get spooky with today's review, which is 13 Haunted Houses, edited by Curtis M. Lawson and Joe Morey, as published by Weird House Press. So Joe Morey is he was the founder of Dark Regions Press, another small publication, but he has since stepped back from Dark Regions Press. His son, Chris Morey, has taken over, and Joe has moved on to Weird House Press and has been publishing new titles from there. And I only just discovered Weird House Press last holiday season when I bought a grab bag. But I've been loving everything I've read so far, particularly the stories of Curtis M. Lawson, who's the other editor here. He had Devil's Night, which is probably one of the best collections of short stories I've read in the past few years. He also did the Blackheart Boys Choir, which is his debut novel, which I will be reviewing next week. But anyways, this is Joe Morey's first anthology that he's ever produced, or first edited, I suppose, because there's been anthologies through Dark Regions Press, but this is his first time in the editorial chair. And we have 13 Haunted Houses, which you think is a very on-the-nose title for your anthology, and you are partly right. I mean, yeah, there are 13 tales, but the definition of house, I guess, is kind of stretched a little bit here. So it's 13 haunted ghost stories. One takes place in an asylum, one takes place in a lighthouse. So they're not necessarily, lighthouse has house in the name. They're not necessarily all houses, but it kind of got a nice little kind of bonded leather cover here. It's just regular printed end papers, but they're printed with a very, very nice design. And it's got a beautiful introduction by Curtis Lawson, talking about his upbringing in a church, an apartment he lived in a church, before diving right into the stories themselves. And you have some of the greats like Simon Clark and Ramsey Campbell. You have some of the best newer names in horror, such as Philip Fracassi. A lot of ones that I'm not as familiar with, but a lot of great variety within these 13 tales. I know that anthologies like this aren't for everyone, because you get the stories that really shine, and you get stories that don't necessarily shine as much, but the good news about this anthology is none of them really fall flat. There are some that aren't as engaging as others, but they're all very enjoyable. And there, of course, are some that really shine as well. The very first one, Ramsey Campbell, up above, it's kind of the story of a grandfather babysitting his grandson, and the house seemingly he's kind of haunted by, I don't want to say he's haunted by a staircase, but while climbing the stairs to help his grandson, finds that it's kind of like an endless staircase. The ghost is taunting him, which unfortunately was not one of the weaker stories in it, but it just didn't shine like a lot of Ramsey Campbell's other stories do. But right out of the gate with number 2, James Chambers' Eddie Boy, which is the story of an exterminator who's brought in a house that has a lot more in it than rats, was just phenomenal. And the rest of the stories within the collection, you have your ups and your downs. Some of the ones that are absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion, Sarah Tantlinger's Tea House Vignettes, the story of a woman going to a haunted house that she is renting, kind of like an Airbnb situation. She was there the previous year with her sister, and it's revealed that her sister was consumed by the house. And so she has come to save her sister and confront this ghostly spirit. And holy crap, was it wonderful. Some other good ones, Glimmer by Jason Parent. This is one of the ones that, it's not really a haunted house, it's a haunted hotel. But wow, what a great story. I've never read anything by Jason Parent, nor have I read anything by Sarah Tantlinger, but both of those stories make me want to go out and read more by their respective authors. So Glimmer is the story of a parent who is afraid of losing his child. His child is sick, she's got leukemia, and he doesn't want to lose her, which is just a heartbreaking story to begin with. And then he remembers this haunted hotel that he was dared to go into as a kid. And this said that this hotel had a fire, and all of the people that were in this hotel who perished in the fire still reside there as ghosts. And so his thought process is if he has his daughter perish in this hotel, that she will stick around forever. They'll be able to be together as ghosts, which is just a very unique concept, but also a very heartbreaking concept. It's done incredibly well. And then, of course, I do have to mention the last story, which is aptly titled The Last Haunted House Story by Philip Fracassi, which is one of the best ones in the collection. Philip Fracassi has just been a phenomenal author from the past few years. He's just been up and coming. Beneath the Pale Sky was a wonderful collection. I still haven't read Behold the Void, but I still need to. His Boys in the Valley is one of the best novels I've read in years. And The Last Haunted House Story is very, very well written and very cool. It's the story told, it's a haunted house story told from the point of view of the haunted house. Now, I've read stories where, it's from the point of view of a ghost that's living in the house. Haunted Nights, which was edited by Ellen Datlow and Lisa Morton, began with a story that was from the point of view of a ghost. But this one is the house as its own entity. And wow, what a beautiful tale. Not really beautiful, beautifully written, I should say. And it is a hauntingly good tale and a great way of ending the collection. Unfortunately, there are some that kind of, as I said, not really fall flat. There wasn't a single story in here that I said, wow, I kind of regret reading that. There were no bad tales. You do have some tales that are kind of mediocre, which is unfortunately going to happen with any anthology. But I would say for the ones that shine through, you have another Airbnb one with the birdhouse, which is called Scare B&B, which I love. Glimmer, of course, Tea House Vignettes. Deep Down Inside is a good one. Eddie Boy and the Last Haunted House Story, which all shine through. They're worth the price of the collection alone. So this collection, it does say $50 here on the cover, but it is actually on sale for $35 through Weird House Press. So it's not going to cost you $50. It's going to cost you $35, which is just slightly more than a regular trade hardcover. And you can't go wrong with that. You're helping to support a nice small press. It's a very beautiful publication. Like I said, it's kind of got a bonded leather or leatherette cover here. Very well done. It does say on the site that the first 50 copies are signed by Curtis M. Lawson and Joe Morey. I had gotten this solely based on the Curtis M. Lawson editorial credit there, but it's not signed for mine, so those 50 copies are sold out already. But, I wish Curtis M. Lawson wrote a story in here, just because I was blown away by his other short story collection, Devil's Night. But still very much a worthwhile collection from a small press that is really knocking it out of the park. Especially because I know Dark Regions Press has been getting a lot of flack from taking long with its pre-orders. Mallory's been on the works for a while. The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay has been in the works for quite a while. But the other press, now by Joe Morey, Weird House Press, has been publishing things every single month, out of the park, month after month after month. They even have a Patreon, which I'm not usually big on Patreons. I know I've praised Brian James Freeman's Patreon, even though I still have to subscribe to that. But I'm almost tempted to actually subscribe to Weird House Press's Patreon as well, just because they seem to not be slowing down, and everything I've read so far has been phenomenal. So yeah, check out Weird House Press, link in the description below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you around next time.